Welcome to Cooking with CHC. My name is Rachel and I'm one of the registered dietitians here at the Chatham-Kent Community Health Centre. With COVID-19 affecting not only our budgets but also the way we grocery shop, today I'm excited to share with you a pandemic-friendly recipe, tomato and vegetable white bean soup. So this recipe uses budget-friendly ingredients that are normally stored in our pantries and freezers. So this minimizes our trips to the grocery store and stretches our food dollars. Let's get cooking. So the first step is to take a large Dutch oven pot placed on the stove, and we'll be putting it over medium heat. So when that gets nice and hot, we're going to be adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. 1 and 2. So while the oil gets nice and hot, we're going to be chopping our vegetables and getting everything ready for the soup. Now that the oil is heating up in the pan, we're going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. So I already have prepared here 1 medium onion, finely chopped, as well as 3 cloves of garlic, finely minced. We're also going to be adding some spices I've prepared here. So 1 teaspoon of each. We have some basil, garlic, and oregano. Now if you don't have these spices at home, that's okay. We'll be using some sauces later, and they should have some spices in here already, so those should be good to go. Next, we're going to be adding some carrot, and I'm actually going to show you a food safety tip today for how to best cut carrots, minimizing risks of chopping off our fingers. So in your non-dominant hand, you're going to be holding the carrot like a bridge. So if you see beside me, it's going to be looking like that, leaving a flat edge with your fingers. In your dominant hand, you're going to be holding the knife and maintaining contact with the cutting board. So now we're going to be chopping in a rocking motion towards that non-dominant hand. And if you'd like, you can hold close to the knife and we'll just be moving the non-dominant hand along as we go. So as you can see here, it's minimizing the risk of our fingers sticking out and getting chopped by the knife. And by keeping the knife close to the cutting board, we're minimizing the risk of any up and down chopping motion. It gets tricky when it comes to the end, so then you can just turn it sideways and then dice the final chunks. There we go. Now we're ready to add our ingredients to the pan. Now that we've carried our ingredients over, we're going to start adding to the pot. So first we'll add that 1 medium onion, finely diced, as well as 3 cloves of garlic, finely minced. Get all that onion in there. So we're going to be cooking this until the onion starts to get translucent or transparent. So it'll start to get aromatic, and that's kind of the flavor we want. We'll also be adding to this the spices, so they can go in now and give them a stir. Now allium vegetables, like onion and garlic, are linked to benefits not only in our cardiovascular health, but also in cancer prevention. These foods are also quite economical and have a long shelf life when they're kept in a cool and dry place. Alright, so our onions are starting to get nice and translucent. The spices are very fragrant. That's when you know it's time to add the next ingredients. So we'll be adding that 1 cup of carrot that we finely sliced earlier. The adding 1/2 pound of potatoes, and these are diced into 1 to 2 centimeter pieces. So 1/2 pound is about kind of 2 to 3 potatoes, depending on which kind you use, and any kind goes here. We're just trying to use up what's in our pantry. So that's the beauty of today's recipe. We'll be adding 1 to 2 cups of frozen vegetables, as well as some frozen spinach chunks. Now, frozen spinach is a great tool to have in your arsenal at home if you have any picky eaters. These spinach cubes are high in calcium, iron, and fiber, but they disguise really well in any soups or sauces. So if you have any picky eaters at home, they're really helpful. For frozen vegetables, I just used a no-name mixed vegetable of peas, carrots, corn, and beans. You can use whatever frozen vegetables you like at home. Again, the goal is just to clean out our freezers, so this soup is totally customizable to how you'd like it. Next, we'll be adding 1 large can of chopped tomatoes. We'll add 1 small can of tomato sauce here. See if we can get any more sauce out. Next, we'll be adding 5 cups of either water or low sodium vegetable broth. I'm using water today. And we're just going to be bringing that up to a boil. So give it a stir. You can turn up the heat a little bit. Perfect. So now we're just waiting for that to a boil. Now you'll notice today that I used both no salt added tomato sauce as well as diced tomatoes. And the reason being is that in North America, we tend to actually eat more sodium every day than is recommended to us. And the biggest culprits tend to be condiments, canned food, or processed food. So always remember, it's easier to add in salt later on than it is to take it away. So we always start by buying the no salt added, add in the salt later on in the recipe. All right, our soup's starting to boil, so that means it's time to put the lid on, and then we're going to be reducing the heat to simmer. So just put that lid on, reducing the simmer, and now we're going to set the timer for 15 minutes. Perfect, and now we're just going to wait. If it starts to bubble too quickly throughout the 15 minutes, just lower the heat even more. It should just be kind of a low simmer. Right, so it's been about 15 minutes and you can see some of those vegetables are getting nice and cooked down. Now is the time that we're going to be adding our 1 can of drained and rinsed white cannellini beans. So we'll pour those in here. If the soup's starting to look a little too thick for your liking, you can always add a bit more water or broth as you see fit. Plant-based proteins, such as beans, are a good source of fiber, iron, and protein. Now, the iron found in beans is non-heme iron, which means it's not found in an animal product. And while this type of iron is less absorbable than the kind from animals, it is better absorbed when mixed with vitamin C foods, such as the tomatoes that we found in the soup. All right, this has been simmering for another 15 minutes since we added the beans. I think it's time for the final taste test. Perfect. So this soup, again, if you're going to make it at home, you can customize it with whatever you have in your fridge. You can change up the spices if you'd like it a little bit hotter. You can add in some hot pepper, whatever you'd like to make the soup your own. But thank you for cooking with me. Again, my name is Rachel from the CKCHC. Stay tuned in the upcoming weeks for more recipes.
That's really good, perfect.